So eventually.
No.
Hey, that's interesting. I was just thinking about Wayne Newton the other day. He did this trifecta of great villain roles: License to Kill, Adventures of Ford Fairlane, and Best of the Best 2. You could even lump in Vegas Vacation because he's like a foil in that.
Yeah.
But underrated.
AMC totally just like they used to be that movie channel for whatever reason. That was them. And American Movie Classics.
Yep.
Isn't that right?
Yep.
And then,
that's right. And they used to have the awesome Halloween marathons. Remember, they'd show like House of Frankenstein and all that shit.
Oh, that's right. They would do stuff like that.
Yeah.
PCM used to do stuff like that too. I don't know if they still do or not. I don't watch them.
They do. Yeah, they do.
But they would do stuff, especially on the weekends, on Friday nights and Saturday nights.
Oh, well, yeah. Rob Zombie hosted that underground.
It was like for a couple of weeks or something. I wish he would do Werewolf Women of the SS. I wish he would make that movie. Seriously, why not? It would be a fun fucking movie. And if he actually casted the movie like he did in the trailer with Nick Cage as fucking Fu Manchu or whatever the fuck.
Who did I talk to about that? I think I emailed Sybil Danning about it. Or maybe it was Bill Moseley.
About Werewolf? Yeah.
And I asked about the probability of them making like a fleshed out feature. I think it was Sybil Danning. And she said, we must have shot there's at least 40 minutes worth of footage, at least, like plot-wise, that you could assemble.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And I mean, I would rather have seen that than the Machete movie. Although, because the Machete movie, I loved it as a trailer, but when they fleshed it out as a film, it just, I don't know.
It was like dragging out an SNL skit.
Well, it was like you couldn't get the same actors back because wasn't Lindsay Lohan in it or something? And it was
she's in it.
Because like that scene where he's in the lake with the two nude chicks, right?
Yes. Yeah. There's that
one. Her and some other actress, and you're like, well, that doesn't cut well. That doesn't match.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just wish they would turn that into a fucking movie. I mean, Machete was. Come on, guys. Let's turn this. Come on, Rob. A little inspiration. Let's do some fun.
Yeah. But don't do it if you should have just shot it at the time. I think that's the problem I had with Machete was that it was after the fact.
Yeah.
It would have been great if he had it in the can because he's Robert Rodriguez. Why not? He's always fucking shooting all the time.
Well, just the idea of being able to go see those movies after you've watched Grindhouse, and you could go, oh shit, I can go see fucking Machete right now.
Yeah.
And I just saw the trailer. That would have been kind of cool. Oh,
that should have been like Grindhouse 2.
That would have been an instant Grindhouse 2.
And then you have new trailers embedded in that film. There's your franchise.
3. But then someone takes Grindhouse 3 and totally changes it, turns it into something where it's like, when you rent a movie, it fucking turns your mind into fucking Guacamole or some shit.
Like Remote Control?
No, not like Remote Control. You ruined it. You ruined my money.
All right, I went Jeff Lieberman with it. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But no, that would have been a good franchise, I thought. But the movie didn't do well in the theaters. I saw it 3 times in the theater.
Okay, and you saw the complete
the 3-hour plus.
Yeah. Because that's how I saw it. Yeah. And that's why it did shitty, is because
people couldn't buy into that concept.
Yeah, the majority of the people don't want that shit. They want a movie that's 90 minutes. and then they can go to fucking Applebee's.
Or it's 2.5 hours if it has a Transformer or a Hobbit in it, you know.
Yeah. I enjoyed going to see that. I'm glad I got to see it in the theaters. It was fun as shit.
Oh yeah. I was so stoked to see it. It was, you remember that one dude's in it that used to come in a movie trading company all the time, Derek Souther. Remember that dude, the bodybuilder?
Oh, that's right. Yes. I think we've actually even talked about this in the past. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, she's got one leg. That line. I was like, that's pretty cool. He's got a good line with Tarantino in there.
Yeah.
I remember him coming in all the time. And he was like, because Sean was like a huge Van Damme fan. He still is, as was I. And I think Derek had been in Universal Soldier The Return, which was filmed, I think, partially in Fort Worth or something.
Yeah.
And we were like, what was it like?
Speaking of TCM, do you speak to anybody from there? I guess
from
I don't.
TCM?
I used to, no, TCM. Sorry.
Or do you mean Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Let's be frank here.
Movie Trading Company. Sorry, MTC. Too many fucking letters.
I'm still in contact with Sean from occasion, your buddy,
awesome,
Johnny Pace.
Yeah.
I saw him a month ago. He came in my store. And Kirk, which you didn't work with Kirk. He came, I think, on after you.
Yeah, he kind of came. Yeah.
But he was shopping, although I think you knew of him. And you didn't know Damon. Did you know Damon? No, he was after you. Yeah. So those are the core guys that I keep in touch with, but I always have.
Do those even exist anymore?
Yeah.
Those stores?
Yeah.
They do?
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. They our store is no longer where it was.
Yeah, didn't they move it over by the mall?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It's over by Toys R Us, and now that's gone. Now it's a fucking Burlington coat factory. But yeah. It's I go in there occasionally, and I go to the one in Fort Worth off Hewlin. I go there every once in a while. But those are my main two, because I don't go to Plano or Dallas. I don't even know if the Plano one, that was like the home office. Remember old Leo?
Oh, that's right.
Did you go to that store for that fucking inventory?
No. I didn't have to go to do that. But I remember, wait, did I have to go there?
I know I didn't. I was working at the store, and I just heard stories of him taking it. There was no air conditioning, and he took his shirt off.
God dang. I think I did go to that store, because now that you say that, I mean, I think I did go to that event. If you will.
Buying out that store, their stock.
Yeah. Because there was something else I thought he did. Something about telling us how to make a list, or there was something else that he did. But yeah, the shirt thing, I believe that occurred. Yeah.
I remember everybody came back to the store, and the first thing you guys fucking told me is, Jesus Christ, Leo took his shirt off. And I'm like, what? Like, I don't know the context of it. I'm sitting there thinking he's doing it in the parking lot. I don't know. And you go, no, the place didn't have air conditioning, I'm like, what is he doing shirtless? Tell me more. Yeah.
That was an entertaining company to work for.
That's the best job I ever had, man. I mean,
yeah, that was a fun job.
Fun.
That was a fun job.
I mean, yeah.
Different time, man. Because as soon as 9/11 happens, I'm out of there, because I was moving off anyway. But yeah, I remember you and I worked together on 9/11 at that shop.
That morning. Yeah.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
Very, very odd morning. Very odd.
Didn't like one of our regulars come in and tell us about it? Like we didn't know what was going on and we turned on the TV.
No, I think it was what's her name? She came in. I think, or it might have been a regular man. I thought it was what's her name? Melissa? Melanie. Thank you. I thought it was Melanie that had rolled in or something, but it
Somebody
probably
told
was.
us, like, yeah, either somebody called us or came in,
I
and
think
we didn't know
someone
what the
called
fuck was
us.
going on, and it was like slow, and we're just doing our thing, and there was like no customers in the store. That's why, because they're all glued to the TV.
Oh wait, yeah, because I brought a TV in. I had a little bitty TV. I thought we
Yeah.
watched it on that. Anyway,
Right.
whatever. Yeah, that was a fucked up morning. That was a long time ago. But yes, that was a very fun job,
Yeah.
especially watching some of the weirdest shit play out. Just kind of fucking overly obese people just flattening chairs like like they're fucking origami.
I still have that video.
Jesus Christ.
Security
Dude.
tape.
Yeah. Jeez,
You were there for that. I wasn't there for that.
Yeah, I got to watch it. And then, of course, I heard about the security tape or realized there was a tape of it. And yeah, loop that shit until eternity. That should be on the next thing they send to Mars. It's just that guy falling over.
That plus Lindsay.
Humanity.
Lindsay reacting.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
He just grabs a chair and just sprints back to the front of the store. You know how I found out about
What's it like? Go ahead. Wow, I got to hear this. Go ahead.
Okay, so it was the next day. I come in, nobody's told me anything. I go to Subway and I'm eating in the little, cubicle behind the counter we would always eat at. And I go to get the chair and the fucking thing was all mangled. And I'm like, what the fuck happened to the folding chair?
The dude, I mean, yeah, that was one of those things that if you watched it, you would probably think that was like a stunt chair or a joke chair.
It looked like it was been in the WWF. I mean, that thing, yeah.
Steamroller was literally applied to it.
God, Monday Night Raw, Jesus Christ. Yeah. And then I remember we had this one dipshit that came in there all the time. He was annoying as hell. Well, no, his kid was annoying. His kid would run around the store and just ruin everything. And he's like, he always would ask about, any word on episode 1 and that's getting released on DVD? Because remember, it was like 3 or 4 years before that thing came out on DVD. And I go, no, haven't heard anything. Nope. Lucas doesn't want to put it out yet. Nope.
Yeah.
And he kept asking this question for like a good year or so. So when it finally came out on DVD, I was like, hey, I go to ring him up, right? And I'm like, it was like $20 or whatever. And I was like, all right, with tax $21.94 or whatever it is. And he goes, oh, I just wanted to rent it. I've been asking about this fucking movie for a year. You'd seen it in the theater. I don't want to buy it. I don't want to own the thing. I just wanted to rent it. What? What's wrong with you?
No, motherfucker, you're going to buy this.
Seriously. Oh, speaking of NPC, you're one of the few that I could share this with that'll appreciate it. So they have like a little steelbook section of Blu-rays.
Yeah.
And I go over there and look at what I find for $5.99.
Oh my fuck. Oh my
German edition.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you play it? I guess you have.
Yeah, I've got an all region. But yeah.
Is it in German or German subtitles?
The audio, I mean, you have English and German, you know,
Okay.
so you just switch it. But yeah,
that's just. But the thing is, though, German and that movie, it's
yeah.
The movie is so quiet.
There you go. You don't. Well, you get like the little, you know, scenes with the guys on the ship. That.
Yeah, I know, but there's moments of loud activity and fighting, and then there's just moments of quiet, and it's just like, how the fuck do you do that in German?
There's got to be like a German that does just Bruce Dern movies, right?
That would be funny.
You know, like
That would be funny.
Well, I don't know, but I don't know how you do that in German. How do you talk like Bruce Dern in German?
I don't know. I have no idea.
The guy probably had a field day when he had to do the Burbs. He's like, wait a minute, I can't make fun of my
finally I get to stretch my vocal cords.
Boy, I'm bored.
Don't be bored. Join the party. Call 1-976-8888. There's a great time waiting for you right now. Meet new friends or just listen in. Everybody's doing it. So call 1-976-8888.
Where was that party?
So what are you waiting for? Don't be left out on all the fun. Call right now, 1-976-8888. 88 cents per minute billed to your phone. Brought to you by Omegaphone.
There are worlds inside our minds, worlds of peace and beauty. But when our minds wander too far, we lose control and enter the dark, deadly world of Freddy Krueger, where nightmares come alive. Experience this world every week on Freddy's new television series, A Nightmare on Elm Street. The series, Freddy's Nightmares. Don't let him catch you sleeping.
I don't know, dude. We live in a world where, you know, and this is just kind of like one of those old man speeches, but it's just like, you know, shit like The Conjuring, and you know, that's that level of horror films are all the rage, and it's just like, this is copy and paste bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, this is just 90 minutes of jump scares and really just lame fucking stories about bullshit that has either been debunked or, you know, whatever. I've just never been a fan of possessed or, you know, haunted fucking dolls and shit like that. That's just never been my thing. Even like with the Chucky films. I remember watching them, you know, but they weren't something that I was like, God damn, I want to own everything from Chucky. I fucking want Chucky in my life. Because I don't give a shit. Ghost, like haunted, possessed shit. That's like all of those The Taking of Baba Booey, you know, or whatever.
That was scary. I'll never forget that.
All those movies.
Pelham 1, 2, 3. Oh my God.
Oh, that took a lot of possession right there. That's a big demon. Those movies don't do fucking shit for me, you know, just because that's some real fucking fiction in my opinion. And so I just don't waste time with it. I would rather, if I'm going to watch fiction, I want to watch really good fiction. I don't need to watch shit that's been played out over and over. And that's just kind of what it feels like nowadays. It's just over and over.
I rarely am interested in anything current as far as horror is concerned. Like, because like you said, we've been there, done that. You know, it's all regurgitation. And
well, it's like the news that there's going to be another Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Who cares?
They're bringing what's her name back from the first one. It's basically like a copy
Sally
It's like
Hardesty
a cop.
or whatever.
Yeah, it's like a copy of TCM2, if you will, because in that one, you know, what's his name is getting revenge for
Yeah, the uncle.
Fatso, and get down, wait, get down and push back. Is that what it is? No, get back and push down. That's what.
Sally!
Sally, get back and push down.
Damn.
That's what it is. She comes back. From what I understand, she comes back to help destroy them, or I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the bullshit I read.
Yeah, the problem with that as a franchise is it's never been consistent. It's always every movie that's been made, aside from the remake / reboot and its sequel, have been with different studios each time. Like it changed hands, and they just are like, well, let's reboot it again. And the last one I watched was Texas Chainsaw 3D.
Oh, dude, I won't watch those. I saw a clip of one where this chick goes, she slides the fucking chainsaw to Leatherface and goes, here, cousin, take this, or some shit. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this?
I think that's the one.
Oh, is that I have no fucking clue.
One of the reasons I watched it is Bill Moseley was in it, playing the father. God, what's his name? You know, the one that ran the gas station.
Oh, okay.
And he's in the beginning, so it picks up where the ending of the first film leaves off. And then Marilyn Burns is in it too as a different character. So I was like, that's kind of cool. Was Gunnar Hansen in it too? I want to say maybe he was, as different characters. And I was just like, the tip of the hat made me want to see it. And then
it was shit.
It wasn't horrible, but they tried to reset the clock and make like a new, like you're saying, the brother sister connection or whatever. And then they set it up for a sequel and it just didn't happen. So you're like, every time you do this, you set it up, whether you buy into the concept or not, but you're starting the engine and you're like, oh, never mind.
Because that film, the rights have been owned by multiple production companies, correct?
Yeah.
Which played into obviously the biggest part of the story of the whole thing just being shit, because it was just, being picked up by all these different people. So all these different people were getting their hands on it.
Like, I mean, you couldn't be consistent if you wanted to, really. Like, if you and I got the rights to do a sequel, how the hell would we do it? Like what avenue
I could fucking figure it out real quick, and it sure as fuck would not have anything to do with cousins throwing fucking chainsaws to Leatherface. That's some bullshit. You just shit all over the franchise.
Well, I think the obvious answer for you and me would bring Franklin back from the dead with his coffee can.
Well, see, me, when our heroes return back to the Sawyer compound to get revenge, they pull up on that farmhouse, and fucking Franklin's all like Christ hanging up on the farmhouse. That would be the first fucking thing.
Would the wheelchair be attached to him or no?
No, it would just be below him on the ground, but right below him on the wall it would say, get back and push down Sally, like they were fucking with
in blood.
Yeah, because they're taunting Sally to come back, and so yeah.
Well, insult to injury, they use Franklin's wheelchair for Grandpa as an upgrade.
Boom. There you go. And that's the chair he's going to sit in when he tries to fucking hammer the head of the next fucking person that rolls into their house. Hit him, Grandpa! Hit her! Hit her! Sorry.
Oh.
That's such a fucking... I appreciate the fact that I watched that film, the original one, as a young child, because that's when you want to be fucked up by a film. You won't be fucked up by it as an adult. You know, there might be things.
Yeah, but especially now, as everything's been influenced by that, you'd watch it now and it'd be meh.
Yeah. Because it'd just be, oh, that's nothing. You know. Anyway, sorry.
So
I love that movie.
How did you first see it? What was your experience first seeing that?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre, VHS. It was before I saw TCM2, but only a couple of years before I saw TCM2. And it was just one of the videos that I rented because it had Texas on the cover. It had Chainsaw and Massacre. And that literally was all I needed to know, especially being from Texas and being a kid.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, well, I gotta fucking find out what's going on in my state. Well, what happened? You know.
Where were you at the time?
I was living over in I was living over in Japan. My father is in the Air Force. I'm 46. This would have been like
84. Oh, okay.
This was like 82 to 86, something like that. Because we lived 3 years in Japan and then a year in the Philippines. And so, you know, I'm over in Japan. I'm 10 years old when I get there. And VHS is just coming out. So, of course, you know, I'm living in a foreign country. I'm not living on base where there's other English speaking kids. So I'm all by myself with, you know, my brothers and sisters. And so we just fucking sat around watching movies that my mom would bootleg. And then eventually I want to say it was in Japan, but it could have been in the Philippines. But it was when I'm overseas that I actually first watch it. And it scared the shit out of me. It really did. But I loved it. It was, I think what I loved about it was that the idea that, you know, because I'm 10. So of course I believe you when you say this is a true story.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's why I loved it. I was like, fuck yeah, we've got these fucking crazy chainsaw killers running interstate. And it scares the shit out of me too, because I don't want to go outside by myself.
But I love it.
But I love it. So yeah, I mean, that probably had to have been, I can't remember where. It was either Japan or Philippines, but yeah, that's where I would have seen it. Now, do you remember how old you were when you saw it? I'm assuming on VHS.
Actually, no. It was one of those that I always wanted to rent, of course, but you know, there was no chance that my parents are gonna rent that for me.
Yeah.
And I think 2 had already been out, and that made me want to see it even more. You know, because now it's a thing, right?
So now we're talking. It was
around 86, probably. Or
86 and above.
I want to say I saw it probably, it wasn't until 88, I think. That's how late it was for me to see it. Yeah. And that was not for a lack of my trying, trust me. Like, I remember going to Music Land, and they had the Video Treasures budget version of it for like $10, and I wanted to buy it. And my mom told my brother to kind of talk me out of it. Even though he knew it was awesome, you know.
Oh, had he seen it yet?
Oh yeah, it was. Okay, it was legendary. But that was the other thing, is I'd ask, you know, if I was interested in something, I'd ask a family member, "Have you seen Psycho?" You know, and I'd, you know, that kind of thing. Like, tell me about it. Like, because I'm too young to see it. I want to know what Friday the 13th Part 2 is like, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, so he had told me, and everything he's saying is checking all the boxes. I'm like, yes, I want to see that. I want to see that. I want to see that. And then he had to go back and say, no, you know what? It's dated. You don't want to see it.
It was
Just
filmed
doesn't.
in Texas.
Yeah, I mean, there's barely any massacre. There's barely any chainsaw. There's barely any Texas. You don't. When there's no nudity, you don't. And I'm like, damn it, I still want to see it. It's not gonna work. But the weird thing,
all these boxes have been checked.
and the back of the VHS had him holding the girl going on the meat hook, and I'm like,
Yeah,
that's you. If that's in the movie, I know that's it. So it's going to be awesome. I know.
yeah, that doesn't look dated to me.
No, murder is timeless. So the way I saw it was interesting though, because my grandfather, who lived in Montana, had passed away, and we inherited his satellite dish. Giant fucking satellite dish. Forget direct TV, you know, dish, all that crap. And we lived in Oregon. So we had this thing transported all the way over to Oregon. And we picked up all these channels, and one of the channels we had was KTVT Channel 11 in Texas before it became a CBS affiliate.
Is that an Austin channel?
No, it's like DFW.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So every Sunday afternoon they would show movies, and that's where I first saw it.
Texas Chainsaw on TV
at like 2 p.m. Yeah, which was like, that was the best channel, because every weekday they had Three Stooges on, Dennis the Menace cartoon, all these great shows. So I was already tuned into it, and then they started showing movies, and they're usually horror movies, exploitation films. I remember seeing DEFCON 4 on there, Life Force, another Toby Hooper, if you can believe that, on TV.
Those titties were on TV, or it was censored?
No, not at all.
Okay.
But it was like there was no point to the fucking. They zoomed in on her face the whole time, Matilda May, you know, and you're like, what's going on? I know she's naked, but
why are you not showing us? We have a right to know.
But yeah, that's how I first saw Texas Chainsaw, and it was crazy because it's a Texas channel. And it was, I thought it was edited all to hell, but it wasn't. It was pretty much uncut, because there's no gore in the movie, really. They're all in the mind.
Yeah.
And I remember watching it and going, that's great, but I can't wait to watch the video and get the uncut version. And I remember being disappointed when I saw the video, and I was like, I did see the full cut.
God damn it, I bought the KTBT version of this fucking movie.
Especially after seeing Texas Chainsaw 2, which is like a slaughter fest. And I'm like going, wait a minute, there's tons of shit missing here. What's going on? You know?
I remember watching TCM 2 for the first time. And I watched it the year it came out on VHS. I was in 7th grade. And goddamn, that movie just... It was so much more for me than the first one was. The first one was great, but TCM was marketed towards someone like me at that time.
Oh yeah,
you know, it's just like, you know, I don't need to explain the movie. I just loved it. I fucking loved it. I mean, just the way the movie opens. I was just like, I love this. I could see it in my mind because I lived in Texas, and you know, it was just perfect, and it was just insane for it to open that way. And so, yeah, I fucking love that movie. We ended up when Tamar and I moved to Austin. We lived in North Austin, and we actually ended up living only like 3 or 4 miles away from where the original house from the first film had originally been. It's been moved multiple times since
like
then.
a bed and breakfast or something,
yeah, because it was supposed to be like a steakhouse at one time, and then it turned into a bed and breakfast or some shit. But it wasn't until years later until the special edition came out where they had like all the behind scenes stuff, because I had just never had access. Well, not really access. Well, I didn't have access to all that information when I first saw the movie, obviously, because the internet wasn't around. And, you know, time goes on and you forget about shit. So then, of course, when I go buy the anniversary DVD, and it has all that behind the scenes stuff and all the interviews and all that stuff, that's when I realized, it's like, oh shit, I didn't realize that they had filmed so much of the underground scenes in a building down in Austin, in a library, or, you know, whatever the fuck it was. You know, I don't learn that until I'm a grown ass adult. And I was just like, oh, I love this movie even more, just because it's so, you know, because I honestly felt every time I watch the movie, I honestly feel like we are underground that that gross ass fucking amusement park. So, you know, whatever. I just love that movie. I don't know why it's so insane. And it's funny to me because when that movie comes out and I see it, and then it, you know, it's a huge thing in my youth, but I'm not really somebody who's paying attention to the actors per se. I'm not someone who's going deep into the information like maybe you are. I'm more of a surface horror person at that point. And so Bill Moseley, you know, when he comes back around into my world with House of a Thousand Corpses, and I immediately put the two together as soon as I see him and hear him. I'm like, holy fuck, where have you been?
Yeah.
You know, because in my world, I'm just like, I'm not paying attention. You know, I'm not following actors' careers and shit like that. That's not true, because I remember seeing him in
Night of the Living Dead remake.
Night of the Living Dead remake, which I think is brilliant.
It is.
I piss a lot of people off a lot of times because I personally think Tom Savini, he did a brilliant job on that film. And to me, it actually surpasses the original. But this is my opinion. I understand why the original is loved. I absolutely understand it. And if there had never been a remake of that film, I would probably say, yes, that is a fucking great movie. But I just love his remake. I don't know why. Well, I think it's because we get to see more.
But it also turns all the conventions on their head the correct way. We've seen that done a million times since then with remake.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was the one where you were like, your expectations were subverted, but it works out, you know?
Yeah. Now don't get me wrong. I love Romero. I do. I just think maybe that was a movie for me that I needed to see it in a different way. I don't know. Because I'm the guy who will fucking watch the original over and over and over. I'll put it on loop in the store during the season just to have it because I love it.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to two films, which one grabbed me more? I'll say that. It's the remake. And I hate saying that because I fucking hate remakes. But
yeah, but it's also done
like the Dawn remake. I enjoyed it. I fucking loved it. I mean, just the way it opened was a great way to open it. It was a great casting. You know, it was just, I don't know. It's one of those things where you can bitch and bitch and bitch about remakes, and I do that. But then sometimes somebody just fucking hits it out of the park.
Yeah.
And it's just like, God damn, that was the way to do it. You know, if you're gonna do it. But
well, the Night remake for me is I was already invested in it because of the fact that Romero was involved and John Russo and Russ Streiner, Gary Streiner probably too as well. But and then Savini, being a huge fan of his, I was like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna watch this.
Yeah.
but it was done with that motivation. I was like, that's the right way to do it. And then
it was done for love.
Well, the politics behind it, if you,
yeah,
it's more justified because they lost the copyright to the original film, and that was their way of trying to make money on it finally. But when the Dawn remake, I loved it. I did. And I was like one of those that was so pissed off about them doing it initially. I remember going, fuck no, I'm not. But then you put in Ken Foray and you put Savini in there and Scott Reiniger, and there's like when that outside shot of the mall and you see the Ross for Less, but it says Galen Ross. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, they were fucking adding all those little fucking Easter eggs and shit as a thank you and homage to the they did it right.
Yeah.
They didn't try to retell the fucking story, you know. They did it right. And I don't know. I really enjoyed the film. It's just one of those movies I just really enjoyed. And plus, it was just done so well. Soundtrack was great. You know, I don't know. Sorry. But then, of course, years later, you've got that abortion of a remake for Day.
Why is Ving Rhames in both of those fucking remakes?
I don't know. And he must have short-term memory, or he must be, you know what I'm saying.
Is that the one with Nick Cannon also?
I have no idea.
I think so.
Because god damn, I got 5 minutes into that movie and I'm like, nope, see you later. Island of the Dead. No, we're done with that shit.
Like I was not going to watch that anyway, but I remember flipping through the channels and it was on, and I watched like 5 minutes of it, and they were like, was it? Yeah, I don't know. I was like, nope, I'm good.
Yeah,
and you know that the reason they made it was the people had the license to the title, and that's really it was the same company, Taurus Entertainment, that owns the original Day of the Dead, and they made that Day of the Dead 2 Contagion. Also, nope.
Is that a sequel to the remake?
No, it's a sequel to the George Romero movie, which I'm that's already a fucking sequel, guys. You don't make a sequel to a sequel.
Yeah, but nobody's seen the sequel, so we'll make another one.
And then they remade it the year after. Like they did the sequel, and then the year after, they're like, oh, we'll do another one.
Jesus Christ.
And then they brought it out again in a 3D version. And you're like, yeah, it was awful. They're also the company that made that fucking Creepshow 3, by the way.
I have not seen that.
No.
So.
Nor will we.
You've saved me some time, because I'm not going to watch shit like that.
No.
I have been wanting to get over onto what is it, Shudder, and
series,
and watch the series, because Greg Nicotero.
Well, the first episode's got Adrienne Barbeau, so it's like,
oh, it does?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's the longest arm of the law.
You a lawman? Bounty hunter.
Steve McQueen, wanted, dead or alive. Sunday night at 8:30. Listen to what America's saying about Robert Klein time.
I enjoy Robert Klein greatly. I laugh heartily at his antics. Very intelligent, and the whole family can watch.
For a really good time, it's Robert Klein time. Sundays at 9.
Oh, I was going to tell you that Texas Chainsaw 2 story. So in high school, there's this foreign exchange student from Germany named Clemens. Fucking funny dude, right? He loved horror films, and the more extreme, the better, you know, but he'd never seen the sequel to Texas Chainsaw. And I was like, I made a copy for him. And he thought it was the greatest fucking thing ever. Like, he was like almost orgasmic in his retelling of his review to me. Just like, oh, it was the best thing ever. And I was like,
huh? Go ahead. What?
No, it's just like that's not even really that gory if you think about it. I mean, you're into some hardcore shit, I'm sure. This is
You're German. You're probably
this is kids
really into some fucking crazy shit.
Funny.
I loved it. It was so good. He was saying, "Lick my plate, you dog dick." It was great. I don't know what the fuck kind of accent I was doing just now, but that's what in my head. That's what.
Gotta, baby. I mean that you lose that in the German dub too. So it's a good thing you saw the American version, right? You don't get the nuance of that performance. You know? What's that? The Rambo 3 soundtrack?
Rambo's.
That's what you remember when we met him? I had him sign that. He had that big it was like bigger than an 8x10 of him as Chop Top, and I had him sign that because that's my favorite line.
Yeah.
And then I was like, man, how did you know that they were, first of all, they're going to have a Rambo 3. Second of all, they were going to just call it Rambo 3. They weren't going to call it First Blood 3. They're going to call it Rambo 3.
And they would have a soundtrack.
Yeah, exactly.
Dog will hunt.
Yeah. Bitch, Leatherface.
Boy, what a pair. They go so good together. Superdog and your favorite cold beverage in a Texas-sized schooner. Get them now at our concession stand.
Brother, this has been fun, man. Thank you.
Yes, it has been fun. It's so good to see you. So good to fucking talk to you.
Yeah. Do this again soon.
Yeah, please.
All right, brother. Signing out of here.
Okay. I will talk to you soon. He's a B actor who really has a fucking big ego of himself.
Was he in The Swarm?
Fuck if I know.